Hey, welcome to the first episode of the Ice Fishing Podcast. You have Ben and Brett here.
Hey, guys.
Welcome aboard. We're glad you joined us today. We're going to be talking our favorite sport, ice fishing.
Yeah, I think we'll have some good topics coming at you guys this winter, and it really just kind of gives us something to do. We're kind of excited to bring this to you, and I think this first episode we're just going to kind of go in and introduce ourselves a little bit, what we really enjoy about ice fishing, and then kind of talk a little bit about what we want to do for the rest of the season, give you a little preview.
Awesome. So I'll kick it off a little bit about myself. My name's Ben. Grew up basically fishing open water and didn't really get into a lot of ice fishing. Just kind of dabbled with it a little bit throughout the years, but really got into it in college. So went to college at UNI in Cedar Falls and ended up going out, buying a shelter, buying an auger, getting way into it, stashing everything in my little Cavalier and heading out and hand augering every hole.
Those were tougher days.
A little bit tougher.
Now we're soft.
A little bit tougher. Now we got basically the whole setup. We don't have to want for anything now that we're older. But back in those days, I was super happy to even see a fish without a flasher, just get a little bite from a bluegill, or even think you have a bite. Do you remember those days?
Oh, yeah, dude. Well, I only just got a flasher 2 years ago. Before then, I was just running the schoolie, 2 cranks off the bottom, and praying for a bite.
Flying blind.
And I was still out there crushing them. I was still into it.
See, you had a lot more luck than I did back then.
Well, I'd been doing it for a little longer also. I mean, I'd been fishing, well, it started out with a couple buddies in high school. Maximum danger zone was zero adult supervision, just fishing farm ponds where you're out in the middle of nowhere. So I grew up in southeastern Iowa, which is the land of sketchy ice to start with. I mean, before I came up to college, I went to Iowa State. Prior to that, I don't think I'd ever been on ice that was thicker than 5 inches. Nothing that I couldn't at least get my hand around from the tip of my finger to the tip of my thumb. Going out there with buddies and fishing farm ponds. We thought we had the world by the nuts.
Yep.
We were the best fishermen in the world, and then you come up here and you start fishing some public water and get humbled pretty quick and pretty damn dog tired by the time you try to hand auger through 18 inches of ice.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I was rocking the 5-inch laser, and that thing was just perfect for up here, because you're just boring holes like crazy, and you get about 4 done in about a foot of ice.
Yeah, and there better be some damn fish underneath those 4 holes.
You're feeling pretty good.
But, yeah, I started out with, a 8-inch Eskimo. Picked her up at Fin and Feather in Iowa City.
Yep.
And started digging holes and catching bluegills and bass for the most part.
Dang. Crushing it.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep. Well, now we both live in Ankeny, Iowa, and we're basically coming into our second season of fishing pretty much all the time with each other, at least. Before that, we were out doing our own thing, and I moved to the area about a year ago and found a good fishing buddy in Brett, and we've been going out. We go out every chance we get. So
took you under my wing.
Yeah, showed me the schoolie ropes.
Yeah.
Fine-tuned the schoolie skills.
Ben runs all the fancy equipment, and I'm still running the schoolie and my open water sonar. So
Yep, we make it work. We did the Iowa State ice tournament last year.
Crushed it,
got first place.
Yeah. Don Williams was the first fishing tournament we'd ever entered in my entire life.
Yep.
Went out there and won. Then we were hooked ever since.
Just great. I had no idea what to expect and zero expectations of winning, doing well, anything. And Brett just said, "Hey, Don Williams, I can show you crappies."
Yeah, I mean, I can prelude that a little bit because I lived in Boone for 2 years. Fished the hell out of Don Williams. I mean, you're catching 8-inch crappies all day long, but once you can figure out where to catch 8.5-inch and 9-inch crappies, then it's pretty quick to win a tournament.
Yep, and we just crushed them. Like, there's plenty of other teams that didn't have any fish.
Yeah, I don't know how they didn't. I don't know what happened with that, but
just awesome.
But yeah, so right now our setup is we're sitting in my basement. Ben and I have a fine Pilsner front of us.
Yeah, a little Miller Lite.
And yeah, so we're hoping just to bring it on and hope you guys enjoy.
This podcast is for all you guys. The one of the reasons we want to do this, we want to get everyone excited about ice fishing at whatever level they're at.
Well, really, we just need to tame our own expectations. It just snowed today.
True. That's true.
Colder than hell last night, and you just get amped up about ice fishing. Yep. That's all you start thinking about. So why not just start doing this? That way we can kind of stroke our egos and get away from the wives for a little bit, talk about ice fishing, and not make them watch In-Depth Outdoors all day long.
Exactly. Although it's grown on Abby. She likes In-Depth Outdoors every now and then, but we just watch it on repeat.
Well, there's always little tidbits to pick up. I was just watching. I was on the road today, passenger, watching the In-Depth Outdoors episode where they're in Kansas, fishing with the long rods for
Glen Elder,
freaking monster crappies.
Yep, gosh, that was a great episode. The guys out there, the locals in their Chiefs outfits, and
well, I think that just goes to show you can do it. Anybody can do it. You don't have to have all the special gear, and that's something I really want to try to bring across in this podcast. Is ice fishing's easy. As far as you don't need a whole lot of gear. Dig some holes, drop some baits down there, and a lot of times you can find them if you kind of have an inkling of where to look and what you're doing.
Yep. But what's so interesting is you and I fish so differently.
Oh, yeah.
And all of our equipment is different and different philosophies that balance out, I think.
Ben's running top of the line stuff, and I'm just running second-hand, third-hand stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is Ben's operating high time on jigs and baits and just constantly switching out baits, which is not something I necessarily do. I just run a spoon and a jig and hope something bites that.
Yep.
But I'm a little bit more location oriented.
Yes.
If we're not catching fish in a spot in about 5 minutes, we're on the move.
Yep. And we're popping holes all over.
Oh shit.
We just Swiss cheese lake.
Yeah. That's the other reason you have to
fish.
get rid of the hand auger.
Yep.
You got to go that electric auger is so money.
Yep. Yep. But really this podcast is for every kind of ice fisherman you could think of. It's not really for you guys that are out there in your wheelhouses every single week, taking months off of work and going out doing these major trips. This is for guys that just want to go out after work and catch a few fish, have a good time.
Yep.
In the winter in Iowa, it gets pretty gloomy. It's dark at 5 o'clock, and you're leaving for work in the dark, going home in the dark. So just being able to get out and get some time on the ice.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Well, and some of it too, and one of the names I thought of for the podcast is, we're kind of below the ice belt. I mean, you see all these videos and YouTube and podcasts and all these things, and our kind of south of the ice belt, Des Moines area is a little underserved, I think. So just getting out chatting about that stuff, get you guys pumped up that you can do it here, and not every application that they're talking about in these, clear natural lakes are going to apply down here where we're fishing dirty water and a lot of reservoirs.
Yep.
That sort of deal. So
yeah, definitely.
That's one aspect I'm pretty pumped about, is to kind of, below the ice belt sort of deal. And there's still ice to be done and fish to be caught.
Yep. Yeah. And we're still, like you said, Brett, we're still looking for names for the podcast. We're working on that this week, but we're tossing out a few ideas. I want to make something kind of cool and hopefully by the time
this airs.
Hopefully by the time it airs. Yep.
If not, we'll be taking suggestions.
Yep. And we hope to have some guests on as well. Bring some local talent in, some of the local clubs, get them involved.
Yeah, definitely get the Iowa State boys in here if we can.
Yep.
Get in our buddies on here too. I think there'll be a lot of bullshitting and a lot of stories to tell and talk about. And I think that'll be sweet.
Be awesome. And just be a conversation among friends and just, like I said, stroking the ego of ice fishing.
Yep.
So right now it's first, late part of October, just had a little bit of a cold snap, and we're all feeling the itch to go out. So have to go pretty far north to get on some ice right now.
Yeah, what was I saw on Facebook? Some guy from Finland posting ice fishing pictures.
Probably just year round.
Yeah, shit. Keep your stick on the ice up there, that's for sure.
So let's talk some gear, some setups, Brett. So people want to know what we're running for equipment, how we fish, kind of if you were to find us on a typical night, it could be any night of the week, right?
Yeah, see if they can spot us out on Big Creek.
It could be a Monday night out on Big Creek.
Yeah.
I'm getting off work by at least 5, if not later.
Yeah,
Brett's
I'll
rolling
already be
out
home.
about 4.
Probably in the water already.
So we're rolling out to Big Creek. So 2 years ago at the ice show, I bought a Otter Pro Lodge, not the side door model, not that fancy. And everyone said, "Hey, they're big sale on them this year." Well, that's why.
Yeah,
of course. Came out with the side door model. What's that called? The crossover.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know that you need that. I feel like a lot of guys are got those all burnt up, or the zippers wear out on them pretty quick, or something. But
when you're fishing 3 across, though, that's handy.
That would be nice.
You got all your stuff spread out in the front, and you just go over. Shoop,
you don't have to step over all your stuff and watch poles and kick a fish in the water.
So that's my normal shelter setup, and then we trade back and forth though. If we're heading out after work, we kind of
if we need to run a light operation because that otter is a heavy son of a gun.
That's hunkering down watching.
That sucker is a 2-man operation to get in the back of a truck.
Watching YouTube videos. In the shelter, camped out, making food kind of set up.
Yeah, that's like a base camp sort of operation. You're not dragging that thing all the way across the lake unless it's glare ice.
Yep.
And that doesn't happen very often.
So what are you running for a setup?
But yeah, so last year, prior to that, I'd just been running just a cheap Craigslist special Glacier, just a little pop-up tent sort of deal where if you got out of it, it'd blow away on you. But then last year for Christmas, my wife got me a Eskimo Sierra Thermal. A little heavier than the operation I was running before, but much lighter than the Otter.
Oh, yeah.
And I do enjoy that thing a lot. It's a little shorter. You can't stand up in it, but that's fine.
Yep.
And yeah, it's got all the room that I could want. I'm not a very big guy, so it works out pretty good.
Yep.
Caught a lot of fish in her this year. The only thing I would say that annoys me a little bit is sometimes where those clips go, where your stand, or not the stands, but the shell kind of will extend. Sometimes those clips will freeze up on you, but I think that happens with most shelters anyways. But
did you have a couple that were broke too? Were you getting those?
No, the one spring just came apart. So I undid the whole thing, popped a new spring back in there, and
nice.
We're good to go. But I'm sure it'll come apart again.
Ready to roll this year,
season, but who knows?
Cool. Yeah, it helps to have a couple variety options to dig into.
On a windy day, that Otter is money.
Yep.
Or if you're gonna set up for the night,
or if it's super freaking cold.
Yeah,
because
those frigid days
build up a lot of heat pulling that thing, and then you just flip it up and you just chill out in it.
Yep.
And we go out did a little run and gun last year too in some tournaments with some real heavy snow down on Rock Creek.
Just downsized and.
Yep, we had a couple guys show up for the tournament in big heavy setups. You know, like pulling an otter and thinking they're getting out on the lake over a foot of slush. And Brett had the fortitude to figure out how to pack everything into a couple backpacks and have her flashers, throw her auger over her shoulder, and just trek it.
I'll never forget looking back as we made it out to our spot, and those guys, I don't think they made it out of the Marina Bay area.
Nope.
They made it to the one guy made it to a point. He's like, screw it. I'm setting this sucker up
about
right
40
here.
feet.
If there's no fish here, that's just the way it's going to be.
Yep.
And yeah, obviously that paid off.
Yep.
Being able to go where we wanted and picked up basically a limit of crappie in that one, the crappie that we needed in that one spot. And then as we bounced around, we didn't catch anything much bigger, but.
Saw some catfish.
Being mobile, oh yeah, that was the most catfish stacked up in one spot I've ever seen in my life.
It was like a drain and crazy.
It was over by the dam, and I think it was like an overflow or something.
Yep.
Set up, we were digging holes and shad guts were coming out of the ice. I'd imagine that's why they were there.
Yep. Because, we saw them on the flasher and thought it was the flasher screwed up.
I thought it was shad or something, because it was unbelievable. It was all the way from the top to the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Sent the camera down there, which those recons are money.
Yep.
Sent that down there, and as many catfish as you could possibly see.
Yep.
Like, it was unbelievable.
Couldn't catch one.
No, it caught 2 or 3.
Well, yeah, it took a long time.
Oh, it took a while, yeah. We spent more time on trying to catch those catfish, definitely, than what we should have. I mean, we already had our 10 crappies in the bucket, so we were kind of getting distracted on pulling in a few kitties.
A good time.
But then, those two boys brought in those 2 7-pound cats. Yeah. They didn't bring in any crappies, but they did bring in those 2 Mondo cats.
They're pro catfish guys.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Yep.
Those were sweet.
Yep, so we run a little bit of different setups, but it complements each other. Yeah. We can pick and choose. If we're going out and it's a nice day, we want to just punch a bunch of holes and actually catch a lot of fish. We'll take your setup and just run around.
Or we won't take any setup. We got the gear now, the clothes that if it's just an hour or two session that you're out there,
Yep, no problem.
you just throw the stuff over your shoulder, and especially if we fish these ankeny ponds.
Yes.
So that's one thing I'd like to touch on a little bit this year. Is some of the area lakes and ponds that we fish, and kind of not exact locations, but kind of what we see on that water, and kind of how we break it down and approach each time we go out there. Because especially in the wintertime, it's different almost every time you go out there. Fish move around quite a bit.
There's such a variety of fish to be found around this area too, that people don't realize.
Yeah, get off the beaten path a little bit.
Yep.
I mean, everything we're going to talk about in this podcast can be public water. I don't even remember the last time I fished private water, to be honest.
Yep. Yeah, but if anybody knows of private waters,
yeah,
hit us up. Send us a message.
Yeah, we'll take you out. We'll bring you on a guest on the podcast in our shack, and
we're looking for opportunities just like anybody.
Yeah, we'll take anything.
Yeah,
but Ben opened it up a little bit earlier. 5 o'clock after work.
Yep.
Where are we going? What are we doing? Big Creek's one option if it's a Friday, and I don't have a whole lot to do the next day. But a lot of times, if it's like a Tuesday, we're just gonna hit these ponds around Ankeny.
Yep.
Shoot the shit for a while, and
yeah,
not all of them have a decent crappie population.
Basically, just have all the gear ready to go. Take it to work with you.
It's always in the back of the truck.
Yep, ready to go. Head out on the lake right afterwards.
Keep a couple millers in the back.
Yep.
Yeah, but hopefully we can keep that going this year. I don't know.
Yeah.
Baby time might slow that down a little bit, but we'll see.
Yep. Yeah, Brett's got a young one.
Yeah, 7 weeks old.
7 weeks.
7 weeks old, actually,
Holy
in
cow.
about 5 hours.
Really? You gonna be celebrating later?
No, I'll be hopefully sleeping. Oh, I'll probably be awake.
Being awake, editing a podcast.
Well, hopefully this is on that. This don't need to be edited. That'd be sweet.
Never know.
Yeah.
It's our first episode, so I
Yeah,
have no idea.
I realize this episode's kind of gotten away from us a little bit and kind of scattered all over the place. But I think as we find our feet in this, it'll get a little bit.
Yep. Bear with us.
A little better.
Like we said, it's for people that just love ice fishing. If you're like us and you're in the car, you want to listen to something about ice fishing.
Yep.
You can't get enough of YouTube and podcasts and just ice fishing info.
Yep.
Chatting it up. Awesome.
Yeah, I think that unless you have anything else you want to add for this
That's
episode,
good.
Ben, we'll give a quick preview of a couple of the next couple episodes that we have written down on my notebook, and
awesome.
we'll see what we're looking at. I think the next time we touched a little bit on gear that we run, but I think we're going to take a deeper dive, maybe do a 2-part series of each of our equipment, and kind of our setups and why we have that, and
Likes
our
and
thoughts.
dislikes.
Yep.
What we change.
So
Basically, if you're getting out and this your first time listening about ice fishing and you're thinking it's pretty cool to go out, give you some tips and tricks on things that we wish we would have done differently.
Yep.
If we're going back to buy equipment again, what do we think is a waste of money and what's really good?
And it's fishing. None of it's a waste of money, Ben.
Yeah, well,
It's all good.
you got to spend money on something. Might as well be something fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it's crappy
Get
equipment.
outside.
Yep.
What else did I have on that list? We're going to go back up to the St. Paul Ice Show this year. So on our way up,
that's
we're
exciting.
going to try to do a mobile podcast on our way up. We'll see how the
Yep.
truck noise goes, or maybe we'll just do it in the parking lot when we get there and see how pumped up we are.
Yep.
Do a recap of how much money we spent and kind of the stuff we come back home with.
Yep.
What else do
That'll
we
be a
have
good
here?
time.
Then I think we're definitely going to want to review or preview tournaments that we have coming up.
Yeah, if you guys haven't gotten in on the tournament action, highly recommend. Even if you're not sure you can go through all the way in a tournament series, or
Dude, it's
any
so
of that,
much fun.
just go out, find a buddy, find someone. Heck, put a message out on Facebook that you're looking for a partner, for a buddy to go with you, and just go fish some tournaments because it'll make you such a better angler. Just having that tournament mindset versus going out and just fishing for fun.
Yep.
Totally different than the tournament dynamic.
Well, I know what happens to me. Yeah, when we go out for fun, the fish aren't biting, but the beers are cold.
Yep.
But when you're tournament fishing, you're like, well, shit, fish aren't biting. Where are we going? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Where are they at? How do we find them?
We caught 5 perch. We got to get 5 more. Something.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
I only need 10 bites that whole period. We got to do something to get them in.
Yep.
It's
Plus, not give away your location to everybody across the lake so they're all crowding 10 feet from you.
Exactly.
Trying to get on your honey hole.
Also, talking about tournaments coming up, but also kind of review last year's tournament series because that was a hell of a lot of fun, man.
Yep. Yeah. I'm excited for this year. If we can get that same format, some same lakes, different lakes, whatever, that was really cool. Basically, I mean, we were out fishing every weekend.
Yep.
Had that every Saturday.
Well, yeah, shoot. I was pre-fishing on Fridays, fishing all day Saturdays, and then half the time we'd go out on Sundays and just go for fun. Yeah, that was a hell of a lot of fishing.
Just awesome.
Yeah.
Gosh, get fired up.
Yeah, and then hopefully might have a few extra filler podcasts in there. Maybe talk about some social media and YouTube things that we like to follow and kind of why we like those.
Yep.
And then otherwise, hopefully ice is here by then.
Yep.
And we'll be on the ice. Bring it to you
December
live.
December 18th last year was when I caught that crappie on the pond, the big crappie.
Oh, that Ankeny pond.
Yeah.
That thing was a hog daddy.
December 18th. There was, just dead grass everywhere, no snow.
Nope.
But man, we had 3-ish inches of clear ice.
Yeah.
And we were out there both days, Saturday and Sunday. That's all
Got
we did.
the itch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what do you think before we close this up? What's your guess for first ice this year?
I'm thinking early. Like we were talking before earlier, it's coming. Like this year, just having snow right off the bat. It's not even November yet. We had a little dusting of snow on the grass. That's fantastic. I mean, it's temps are going to be in the 40s during the day. Mid-20s at night.
Yeah,
I'll be making some ice.
I'm not quite as optimistic as you. I think this is a decoy. Decoy cold.
It's going to break, and
next week's going to be in next week or the week after is going to be back in the 40s, and we're going to hang out in there. I bet. I'm hoping maybe. I'm going to guess Christmas.
Christmas?
That's where I'm going. I'm not quite as optimistic as you
long.
are. I'm going to be.
I was thinking like
Christmas.
December 10th. We'll be out.
All right.
So the year before,
Mark those on the calendar.
Do you remember when I was out on this real sketchy lake and I beat you to the ice? It was December 14th that year.
Yeah.
2017.
Yeah, you beat me by 2 days because
Yep.
I went up here in Ankeny because I didn't have my gear. I just had my bibs and my flash, and I froze my nuts off because I had to get out there. You got me pumped up.
Yep. At least you didn't fall through.
Yeah, it was sketchy, but
Yep.
I think we're gonna wrap it up. Unless you have anything you want to add.
Cool. Well, we'll have a website getting up and running here pretty soon. We'll have a way to email us, get a hold of us. We want your comments. Give us your thoughts. Chat back and forth with us. We'd love to hear from you. And follow along with us on this journey. It'll be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm real excited for it.
Yep, we're pumped.
Yep. All right. Thanks, guys.